What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to do something similar to what we did last week with the overdrive pedals, but we're going to look at the distortion pedals. Right now I just have a really clean preset dialed up, so that way you can hear the pedals. I think when it comes to modelers, I would probably prefer to use a high gain amp instead of just a distortion pedal, with the exception of the Maximus and the Pugilist. Both of those pedals they're awesome. The first two I got pulled out, I pulled these out just for legacy's sake. But I would really recommend, if you're going to like really learn one, learn the Maximus or the Pugilist. Both of those give you a ton of control. These, I'm just going to be real with you, I guess I'm not really a fan of these pedals in real life, so to speak, analog state. So this is based off of a Boss amp, or a Boss pedal, and then the Rodent is the Rat pedal. When it comes to distortion, if you're an analog guy, I come from, the distortion pedal I had was the Wampler's Rat Bane, which is basically a boutique version of the Rat pedal. I like that one because it gave you just so much control over the pedal and you weren't just stuck with the 80s hair metal sound. And I find that the Maximus is like a really good substitution for that analog pedal. But I did want to showcase this just so you can see some of the stuff that's on here. This is my 5th time filming this video because I'm having technical difficulties with the vocal cam or the visual cam. So hopefully this will be the last time I have to do this, but I've already changed the default settings, and just so you can hear it. Not a bad pedal, just not something that my ear really enjoys, to be perfectly honest. Same with the Rodent. And again, when you watch my channel, I'm not sponsored by these guys. I would love it if they would pay me to make these videos and tutorials, but you guys pay me by watching this. So I just give you my raw, unfiltered truth. And my thing is, like, I would never use these two pedals, not as they are now. But, oh, and I don't think I showed you my clean tone, but it's just super flat. It's just a Princeton. It's not really doing a lot of coloring. Now, in my rigs, if I'm not going to use the 5150 high gain amp on here, this is basically how I get my distortion tones. But if you've been watching my tool stream, all that is the 5150 stealth. But here's the Rodent pedal. Gotta get the Metallica out of me when I play a Rodent. Not a bad one. You could probably get some good tones if you changed this up and really took the time to dial it in. Maybe you put a boost pedal in front of it so it's hitting this a little bit harder. But I'm going to be real with you. The only two distortion pedals you need is this Pugilist or the Maximus. The other two, you're just going to be spending a lot of time. Like, I wouldn't waste the time to learn it. I would just grab this pedal. Now, I could probably make an entire 15-minute video on just one of these pedals, so I'm going to kind of go through them quickly just so you can hear them. But I would encourage you to actually read up on this pedal. This pedal, there are two different diodes that it's replicating, so you can see A and B, and then you also have a blend that you can choose between the two. Lastly, you get a bass boost, and you can do it where it's either in series or you can blend the two signals together. So you can really, it just gives you full control over your distortion. But let's see. You can add in the bass boost. It's just a little too oversaturated. And especially, remember, whenever we're working with modelers, we want to make sure, like, we got to keep in mind the mix that we're playing in. If you're just playing in your bedroom and you're not really cared about like high fidelity audio, then it doesn't really matter. You can turn your bass all the way up to 10. If you're playing in a band setting or if you're getting ready to record, I'm just going to tell you as an engineer, low end on a guitar is like your worst enemy. So I wouldn't really recommend using a bass boost unless if you're just using like a Telecaster and you want to beef it up a little, or some type of single coil guitar. But really, we want to cut around 800 hertz on a guitar, in my opinion. Or I'm sorry, 800 is too hard. About 120 to 200 on up. 800 hertz is where the guitar sounds really good. So let me correct that. But yeah, so on this, I mean, dude, you just have so much control. Like, I'm just going to use just A. And then now we'll go just B. So you can hear B is a little bit more of like modern distortion, and A is a little bit more of like more overdriven tones. So for me, if you've been watching the channel, you know that I'm really like a fan of overdrive and clean tones. So I would probably lean a little bit more towards A, but it just depends. And the way that I would dial this in anyways is like go hard right and then hard left. Dial in the sound that you like and then blend them two together. So I'd probably do something like this. Yeah, that's good right there. And you saw how I did that. I went all the way to the left, dialed it in, went all the way to the right, dialed it in. Most important thing is like to trust your ear and don't overthink it. All right, now the last drive pedal that I really recommend, and honest to God, if you're not a fan of the way that the Pugilist sounds, if you're not like an overdrive guy and you don't really like that a level of control, this is a phenomenal pedal. This reminds me of my Wampler Ratsbane. It just does so much, man. I'll show you. We'll kind of talk through it here in a second. But look, this is stock. I haven't dialed it in yet. If you've been studying with me and you're learning sound design, what I want you to do is I want you to pause and I want you to type out in the comment section, what do you think I'm about to change on this? So we can start training your ear. All right, so here's the thing. Off the gate, this is really bass heavy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rip that bass out. Maybe a little bit more. But if we come to the second page, you can see this is also a boost pedal. Now, in the metal community, here's the thing. I'm not ignorant. I know in the metal community, it's kind of like expected that you scoop your mids. I just don't care for that sound, to be honest. So I'm going to push my mids up a little. Probably add a little bit of... That's good. Do you see how quick these last two pedals were to dial in a really good sound? And that's kind of like, just have that expectation of dialing this in. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm really heavy into the fractal world right now, understanding it. I would just say that like on the Fender side, Fender does Fender cleans really well. On the high gain side, you're limited in options, just to be perfectly honest. But what I will say is that the options that are here are phenomenal. So, you know, it's kind of like analog gear, man. Like in analog gear, not all gear is made equal. And plus, like, your ears are so different than my ears. What I say sounds like trash, like the Boss pedal and the Rodent. You may hear that and like it, and that's okay. You know, that's what this is all about, is finding your sound that you enjoy. But I would just say that for me, if I'm going to throw on an overdrive pedal or a distortion pedal on a clean amp, which is typically how I used them before I got into the digital space, this Maximus drive is probably the best distortion pedal that Fender has made so far, in my humble opinion. I do know that there's the Rocket Man, so the Rocket Man will probably make its way probably before the Pugilist. Let's take a look at that real quick, because I think that is worthy of comparison. Okay, so here is the Rocket Man. They're labeling it as an overdrive pedal. I've never used this pedal before, but I have seen it a lot in the forums. One thing is it's really deep. Charlie says it's about time to wrap this video up. 1 second, buddy. Yeah, let's boost treble a little bit. Let's see what our drive is. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. I would say, honest to God, if you're in the Fender land, these are the 3 overdrive pedals that you really want to consider, in my opinion. Oh yeah, that sounds great. All 3 of them turn on at the same time. All 3 of these are, you really can't go wrong. I would say if you want me to put these in order, Maximus is my number 1 pick. This Rocket Man is probably my second. Pugilist is probably third. I don't know. It's really a toss-up between these 2. I think this sounds really good out the gate without a lot of work. Especially if you like... Well, I guess, some of my favorite metal bands that I'm basing this off of is like Gojira, probably a little bit of Slayer. Who else I listen to? Killswitch Engage, a lot of new metal. So that's the sound that I like. And this Rocket Man, it's like instantly I just hear like... But I'm in standard, so that's Killswitch Engage, my curse. That's what that reminds me of, is like that whole Killswitch Engage phase. So if you like that, the Rocket Man, but really, dude, just trust me, man. Master this one. This one is the sauce. Listen to that. Yeah, that's... I don't know. Let me hear this again. Well, hey y'all, I hope this helps you out, and I hope it at least gives you an idea of the different distortion pedals that are available to you with the Tonemaster Pro. Again, I think the best parts of this are classic tones on the Tonemaster Pro, but I don't want to distract and say that the Tonemaster Pro can't handle metal, because it absolutely can. A lot of questions I've been getting, asked about FM9 versus Tonemaster Pro. FM9 is way more complicated than the Tonemaster Pro, and the FM9 has everything at your disposal, whereas this is like the stuff that's here. It's easy to use. It sounds really good. You're just limited. But honestly, a little bit of limitation is good for your creativity. Trust me. And the stuff that's on here is really, really good. Maximus, all 3 of these pedals are really good. You can't go wrong. Like, if this was on your pedal board in real life, besides like on your modeler, you'd be happy with them. And if you weren't, I'd buy them from you. But hey, I hope this helps you out. If you were interested in studying with me, please consider reaching out to me at either Damion Andy, or you can reach out to my Instagram business account, the Guitar Artistry Program, where I really help you find your sound, dive into the world of music production, learn how to build an audience via social media, and get paid for exposure versus being paid in exposure. So if that resonates with you, you want to kind of learn how to do this stuff, please reach out to me. I'd love to have the opportunity to win your business and help your dream become a reality. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff. My goal is to reach 5,000 before the end of the year, and only you can help me do that. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.